Hey guys, there is a lot of silence around Studio Wildcard at the moment. We get some small patches here and there, but everything is fairly quiet compared to the last month. Therefore, I also don't have much news for you to share. But now it is February, and that means next month is the month we assume Genesis 2 to be released. Even though March is named as the release month, there is still a chance that this release might be delayed, like it happened with the past DLCs. At this moment, I'm expecting it to be delayed because we haven't gotten any more news, and that is kind of a little bit suspicious, but I'm totally okay with it if it happens. If you look into the game development of the past month, and I'm just naming games like Cyberpunk here, what you see are overworked developers, crunch time in which developers hardly even get home and are supposed to run 3-digit hour weeks without extra pay. And I love the game ARK, I love ARK, but I don't want developers to work this way, and I don't want them to risk their mental health for my entertainment. I don't know if Wildcard does have crunch time, but I assume that they have a really stressy time before, while, and right after releases, if I'm judging the tweets from the past releases they have done. And yet, still people think insulting, harassing, threatening devs, and even social media stuff is a form of constructive critique. I have been working in professional social media myself, and I can tell you from my own work experience, if there was a priority list about requests that had to be worked on, I would sort them out by how people would make the request. Insulting requests, I was even allowed to ignore and to delete, and threats would even be handled by the police. And that was a few years ago when it was still new to companies to have social media accounts to work with. And nothing really prepared me for this job. Nothing really prepared me for the hate I had to deal with. Hate over really small things. I got death threats over software issues, and people doxed me and announced to kidnap and torture me until their request was handled. No one should ever have to go through this in their job, no matter what job they do. No one should have to fear for their life and safety over a consumer and entertainment product. No one. But yet a lot of people think this is the way of communication because it will put pressure on those people to get things moving. And they're not realizing that the social media team does not act as an amplifier of the customer's voice. The social media team is the buffer, and it is the filter. And all the hate that is thrown towards those people will stay with those people. It will not go to the company. It will stay with those people you're throwing it at. And it even stays after the work hours. And like in my case, it even stays years after I stop working in that job. Customer support, and I put social media in that category, is yet the most ungrateful job you can have within a company. Social media might even be a little bit easier here because you also have contact with people who like the product and who interact with you on a friendly way. But yet it still can turn bad quickly. And the main thought for me when I think about social media management and how to act with people is treat a game dev you interact with the way you want to be interacted with. Treat people with respect and don't assume you know how their job works, how their day goes, how their intentions look. And that is not even a hard thing to ask for, but it can make a giant difference for those who work in that job. I know this is not big news, this is not a tutorial, but it is just a thought that I had in my mind for a long time every time I witness discussions on Twitter and Reddit. And I love this game, and I get sad when I see how the community is acting. And sometimes I feel embarrassed when non-ARK players get an interest in the game and then they see the toxic behavior of the community and lose all the interest right away. And I know this video might get a lot of backlash because I know the community, I know how toxic the community is, and I know how self-righteous the community is. But I think it's still important to talk about because it's in our hands how we treat people. And if you want to let me know your opinion about this topic, I would love to see it in the comments, and otherwise I'll see you in the next video.